Mm-hmm.
Did you sit down straight away, or did you have drinks, or?
Just milled around, I think.
Yes, I think we probably stood to greet the guests as they arrived, and then we milled around till we were called to sit down.
Do you remember what you ate?
I can remember some of the menus, but I don't know which was ours now.
What were some of the things on the menus?
Oh, there's roast meat, chicken.
Yes. I can tell you we had some form of entree, but then we did have chicken. And in the era we're talking about, chicken was pretty special. Nowadays, of course, chicken is something that people have every day of the week. But in this era, if you wanted to feed people something special, chicken was the way to go.
Otherwise, you had it at Christmas time or
Special
Easter.
occasions, it was the only time you had chicken.
What about, so you've had your meal, speeches. Did anyone get up and say anything?
I guess you did.
Yes.
I wouldn't have dared open my mouth.
Oh,
Do you remember what you said then?
I can't remember what Mum said.
No, what you said.
No, I don't know what I said.
Did anyone else? Did Russell, E.G.?
Russell would have got up.
He'd have proposed the toast to the
Yeah.
bridesmaids as one
did
had
in
to
those
do.
days.
I think that was the way.
And
Yes. I
No.
don't know what Dad said in his speech, but I remember clearly that it took days before he would refer to me as his wife. We'd been married for about 3 days, and we were travelling north, and we stopped to have a meal somewhere, and sitting in the cafe was somebody that he knew, and he had to introduce me. And it just wasn't something that came easily for him, but he had to introduce me, so he said, "This is Judy, my wife." But as I say, about 3 days. So he certainly didn't mention it in any speech that he made at the ceremony.
Would have referred to you as Judith.
All right, probably he said, "This is Judith."
Or Judy.
That's right. You would have called me Judith in those days,
Yes,
wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, reception's finished. Do you remember leaving?
Yes. The MC with whom we discussed things earlier had said that he reserved the right to suggest it was a good time to go, because in those days the bride went and changed into the going away outfit, and everybody formed a circle, and you came in and you said goodbye, etc. And he said that he could judge by the guests whether they were enjoying themselves or they were sitting there thinking, "Gee, I wish the bride and groom would go," because this was an era that nobody ever left before the bride and groom. But people must have been enjoying themselves, because it was well after 11 when he came and he said, "I think perhaps now would be a time for you to go and get changed into your going away outfits," which we both changed, because Dad was still in his dinner suit, and he changed into just a normal grey suit, which he had made specially for the occasion.
After midnight, there'd be penalty rates on staff.
Oh yes, something like that. But then, and I just changed into a pale pink silk suit, and then we came out and said our farewells to everybody. And
Who did you throw your bouquet?
Louise and I were only thinking about that recently, and I am pretty sure that I didn't throw it. My grandmother had come back to Sydney specially for the wedding. This stage she was about 91, and or she was close to 90 anyway. And so as I went around saying goodbye to everybody, I handed her my bouquet, and somewhere in the archives we've got a photograph of her as I handed it to her, and her whole face lit up. She was just so thrilled. Rather than throw it, and, I just decided to do it that way. So, yes, she was a happy lady.